It was a cold, wet winter by California standards. Not that I'm complaining. The state desperately needed the rain. When the NOAA forecast predicted a 4-day window without a storm, I was more than ready to get away from the dock. In our brave new world, where time is money, finding someone to document a spontaneous sailing adventure can be a challenge. So when my friend Phil volunteered, I didn't take any chances. I shanghaied him. Imagine his surprise when he woke up in the V-berth, pressed into service as the Sea Bear's cameraman. The plan was we would leave San Francisco Bay, head north up the coast, and test out the crab pots my brother built. One of the many things life on board teaches you is how to be flexible. If you're a sailor, you probably already know what I mean. If you're a landlubber, well, let's just say that when it comes to the sea, things rarely go as expected. That doesn't mean you don't need a plan, but I have found that if you spend all of your time worrying about your plan and the fact that it isn't working, you might miss the adventure you were planning for in the first place. We arrived in Drake's Bay well after dark, sharing the anchorage with a couple of crab boats and a cacophonous colony of elephant seals. Okay, so for dinner we got fettuccine al salmon, which is like an Alfredo sauce with salmon and preserved lemons.
So what happened today?
Well, we got a late start with the fog, and we had a lot of current opposing us coming up the coast. So we ended up in the anchorage probably a couple hours later than we anticipated. If we can't get into Tamales Bay, we're gonna have to go to Bodega Bay, and then we'll have to like hitchhike or arrange a ride somehow to get to the Hog Island Oyster Company. All right, good morning. Welcome on board the Sea Bear. This morning, well, let me start that over. Good morning, welcome aboard the Sea Bear. Yesterday we left San Francisco Bay. We came up about 36 miles through a little bit of swell and chop and came up here to Drake's Bay. This is Nova Albion, the landing spot at Drake, where he careened his ship and repaired it. You can see behind me, you can see the cliffs. Those cliffs are what he named New England. He thought it looked like Albion, which is the shores of Dover. I guess you could see the similarities. So I got a little safety lanyard here in case the motor was to like pop off the engine mount. Seen that happen a couple of times as an EOD tech in the Navy. Outboard motors, we're always dealing with them, always having problems.
Hey man, namaste.
Anchored here, close to the spot where Drake first anchored the Golden Hind, it was easy to imagine being the first explorers to set foot in this new land. Like a couple of kids, we went ashore to do some exploring. The son of a sharecropping farmer, Drake's rise to fame started when he captured the Cacafuego off the coast of South America. This led to Sir Francis Drake's circumnavigation and later his knighthood. Mike Vanderpoorten is a second-generation Drake historian and a member of the Drake Navigators Guild.
Not a lot of room for treasures, is there? Well, no. What's in the bottom?
Yeah, is that silver?
That's all silver. So the Drake Navigators Guild is the group that's using science to find the correct answer, to find the best we can for the truth. So when they started out looking for the site, they didn't say, well, it's got to be here in Drake's Bay. In fact, they didn't know the site.
With a single ship in need of repairs, laden with $500 million in captured treasure, and running from the Spanish, Drake had to find a way home. Following a secret mandate from the Queen of England to find the Northwest Passage, he headed north, searching for a way to cross the top of the continent.
He was probably one of the foremost navigators in the world, and still, his skills would measure up today.
When weather in the Pacific Northwest forced him to turn back to the south and make repairs, Drake found his fit and convenient harbor here in this bay, just north of San Francisco. We took a couple of minutes for the environment, because nothing ruins a swashbuckling adventure faster than finding modern-day trash on an otherwise pristine beach. Done playing pirates for the moment, Phil and I headed back to the Sea Bear to rest up for our next adventure. We're gonna eat some pancakes, we're gonna pull up the anchor, and we're gonna go drop our Dungeness crab pots.
Loading that shit up.
Oh yeah. If I was a crab, I'll be going for that. Okay, we dropped the first crab trap and we're going back into Drake's Bay and we're gonna drop the second one. That's the one we're gonna put a GoPro in, so hopefully we'll get the crab cam. And we're gonna let this one sit overnight. We'll pick it up tomorrow morning on our way through. It's so full I can't lift it up.
Move the hand.
Woo! All right, so we scored. I don't know how many keepers there are in there, but there's a few. Oh, look at that. Look at these guys. Look at that guy. Nice and fat. Yeah, we're eating Dungeness for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Thanks, Damien. Look at those beauty crab pots. They work great, man. Couldn't be happier. 2 in the pot is worth dinner for Shawn and Phil.
So juicy.
Huh? Crab with garlic butter. We have some buttered squash roasted with mascarpone cheese on top and roasted asparagus. I guess I've always been a foodie, something to do with growing up as the son of a fisherman. My dad, extremely self-reliant, put fish on the table in the summer and venison in the winter. My mom, the head chef and where my love of cooking comes from, planted a garden in the spring and preserved the harvest in the fall. I still try to cook and eat the same way, fresh and local, close to the source. And if I can catch or forage the ingredients for myself, delicious. That's even sweeter. The next morning we woke to find that the weather had taken a turn for the worse. Morning. Morning. Cold and windy. But I know we're gonna go pick up our crab pot that we left soak overnight. Hopefully we'll get a few more dungies. We had planned to visit the Hog Island Oyster Company in Tomales Bay, but a rough bar at the head of the bay diverted us 6 miles north to Bodega Bay.
High wind warning in effect until 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time Tuesday.
That afternoon, the weather changed its mind, and while rounding Point Reyes, We spotted some humpback whales, including a baby and its mother, heading north from Baja to the nutrient-rich waters of Alaska. Chasing salmon up and down the coast, Bodega Bay was one of the harbors my father used to fish out of. For summer vacation, my mom would load my brother and I up in the family station wagon and go to meet him when he pulled in. Returning to this quaint fishing village after so many years, I felt an incredible nostalgia for my childhood wash over me. Pops was taken by multiple sclerosis at age 53. I miss him more than words can say. We're here in Bodega Bay because we couldn't get into Tamales Bay, so...
When you sailed on to the sea, I pegged you as a player, a callous cad and libertine, a practiced lady slayer. Yes, you always seemed a gent, but I would never take the bait, and I ignored your every hint to come aboard as your first mate. Now you've lured me on your skiff and launched us on a cruise for two. The tide has turned, I get your drift, I'll ride these waves with you. It was high time, I'm sidelined with you.
When you're becalmed, you're technically plankton, because the meaning of plankton is stuff in the ocean that can't maneuver under its own power. You drop your paddle while you're kayaking, you're plankton.
Brand new outboard and won't idle. Can you, I mean...
All creatures respond to stress.
And they're not attached to anything. So
no, they've attached to that tiny little thing.
They're free floating.
Wow. And it doesn't matter to them how long it takes. You might think it's kind of counterintuitive to stress your product so it takes longer to get to market, but we're bringing between 3 and 3.25 million oysters to market every year.
Wow. 3 to 3.25 million oysters per year. It's not easy being an oyster.
No, it isn't. Not anymore. With a crew that does the farming and the sorting and the packing and everything. 12 guys. You know, we ship on the average anywhere between 60 to 90,000 oysters a week out of here. Most of them are eaten within 30 hours, within 100 miles of here. Our market is right here in the Bay Area, North Bay. They're alive until that guy shucks them, and they're somewhere in here.
Yeah.
They're still thinking, oh my God, what did I get myself into?
So you feel about oysters?
I'm getting ready to eat some oysters, I think. George went, looks like he's got a tray, and he was asking if we were left-handed. Billy brought us lefty gloves.
Fantastic, finally.
Finally, yeah. I mean,
Look, he's a lefty too. Oh, don't use a screwdriver.
don't use a screwdriver. They're not screwdrivers.
Or don't use the knife as a screwdriver.
Or don't, whatever. So here's the hinge.
Okay.
The muscle is right here that we're talking about. Connects the two of them together. And I'm not working very hard. I'm just searching around for the spot between the two shells. Okay, you're working way too hard, okay? Then you turn your knife 90 degrees, cracks that tendon. Now you have room to operate. Reach in, cut the top muscle off. So all you're doing when you're shucking oysters is putting your knife into that little spot right there.
Okay.
Just that far. Right? That's where that tendon is. Pop it open. All right.
Wow.
That's about as fresh as there is, isn't it?
Oh, that's amazing. Let me shuck you one, Phil.
Oh, I'm eating this.
Wow, fantastic.
You're getting the full treatment here.
Yeah, really.
It might be pretty hot.
Yeah. All right, gateway drug. Wow. That is delicious.
Is that a good barbecue sauce? A good bite.
That is amazing. And with that, we called it a day and headed back to Bodega Bay and the Sea Bear, waiting patiently in her slip, ready for another adventure. Thanks for watching the premiere episode of Sailing the Sea Bear. I hope you have enjoyed watching it as much as we did making it. And Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow along on the adventure. Hopefully, we'll depart for Alaska in the first week of May.
Say it.
Okay, so I'm allergic to oysters. I can't help myself, they're so good. I'd probably be throwing up in about 15 minutes. Hitchhiking home and throwing up on the side of the road.
I'll for sure be filming all of that.